Insectophagi, nondescript, quaint human species abound in the post-Q galaxy. Hundreds of them lived out simple, unnoticed lives, never developing to become sentient, never learning their true heritage as star-born human beings. Most of them went extinct, not to be missed or even remembered. Those that lingered on managed to survive in shady, quiet niches, never again making any impact on the celestial scheme of things. One such species was the Insectophagi. They had quietly adapted themselves for a diet of colonial insects and small animals. They had faces covered with leathery plates, claw-like hands to dig out prey, and worm-like tongues to scoop them up. All in all, they weren't special in any particular way, but a combination of galactic invasions, coincidence, and pure luck would later make them the longest enduring of all starmen. The meek would inherit the cosmos, though not just yet. For now, the Insectophagi were concerned only with the location of insect colonies and the onset of mating season. Bug facers, descendants of the Insectophagi. Over time, their insectivore ancestors came to resemble their prey. Hardened leathery plates, once used for defense against stings and bites, ossified and became integrated into the jaw structure. Their hands and feet, with reduced numbers of fingers and toes, developed into pincer-like affairs. Even their metabolism reverted partially into ectothermy in the balmy, lazy climate of their planet. But it was none of those adaptations that gave them the edge in survival. Simply put, a congenial defect allowed them to regain their sentience. Even after the smothering by the Q, the genes of the star people remained dormant in their cells. Through pure coincidence, one lineage of the Insectophagi developed an atavistic throwback, resulting in larger brains, which just happened to be useful in cracking open insect nests with crude stone tools. It was an easy ride from there on, although millennia long in itself. The development from stone axe to spaceship was an eye blink in geological time. Like many other species, the bug facers passed through consecutive cycles as agrarian, in their case, hive farming empires, colonial endeavors, industrialization, massive world wars, and finally globalized world states. But there was one thing that set their development apart from all other post-human species. They faced another alien invasion. History does not record much about these invaders, except that unlike the Q, theirs was a singular effort and it was beaten off an intense cycle of orbital and terrestrial wars. Although vanquished, the invaders did succeed in leaving behind their traces. They introduced their own flora and fauna, which flourished on the bug facers' home planet long after they departed. More importantly, they imbibed the poor bug facers with a pathological interspecies xenophobia, to the point that they were even fearful of their own post-human cousins on other stars. Through an ironic twist of fate, their fears would be more than justified. Though not just yet. The bug facers still had time. Subjects, the many descendants of the bug facers. The bug facers, racially shy and xenophobic due to their background of repeated alien invasions, became the first species to face the gravital onslaught. As ironic as their fate seemed, the bug facers were the luckiest of the post-humans. Instead of being exterminated like the rest of their cousins, they survived as the only organic beings in the machine empire. The precise reason for their retention remains unknown to this day. Perhaps the machines hadn't perfected their ruthless apathy by then, or perhaps they pitied the poor organics and allowed them to maintain a stunted parody of an existence. Whatever the reason, the bug facers endured, but they hardly resembled their original ancestors anymore. Genetic engineering, the lost art of the galaxy threading queue, and later the tool breeders as well, was mastered almost as comprehensively by the machines, not hesitating to warp the beings which they did not really consider to be alive. They spliced their way into bug facer DNA, producing generations of literal abominations. Would a woman or man of today show any apprehension towards reassembling a computer or even recycling trash? Such was the attitude of the triumphant gravital. Thus, multitudes of subjects were produced, distorted to such an extent that even the meddling of the Q seemed comparatively timid. Most of them were used as servants, caretakers, and manual laborers. These were the lucky forms. Some submen were reduced to the level of cell cultures, useful only for gas exchange and waste filtering. Others were molded into completely artificial ecologies, baroque simulations that served only as entertainment. Some machines, with their still human ambitions, took this practice into a new level and produced living works of art, doomed one-off creatures who existed purely as biological anachronisms. Be it a tool, slave, or entertainment, humanity narrowly held on to its biological heritage, while its machine cousins reigned supreme for an unbelievable 50 million years.